Ulysses Chapter 15, Part 3, by James Joyce. The sins of the past, in a medley of voices. He went through a form of clandestine marriage with at least one woman in the shadow of the Black Church. Unspeakable messages he telephoned mentally to Miss Dunn at an address in D'Olier Street, while he presented himself indecently to the instrument in the call box. By word and deed, he frankly encouraged a nocturnal strumpet to deposit fecal and other matter in an unsanitary outhouse attached to empty premises. In 5 public conveniences, he wrote penciled messages offering his nuptial partner to all strong-membered males, and by the offensively smelling vitriol works did he not pass night after night by loving, courting couples to see if and what and how much he could see? Did he not lie in bed, the gross bore, gloating over a nauseous fragment of well-used toilet paper presented to him by a nasty harlot, stimulated by gingerbread and a postal order? Bellow whistles loudly. Say, what was the most revolting piece of obscenity in all of your career of crime? Goat the whole hog, puke it out, be candid for once. Mute, inhuman faces throng forward, leering, vanishing, gibbering. Boululuhum, Poldycock, bootlaces a penny, Cassidy's hag, blind stripling, Larry Rhinoceros, the girl, the woman, the whore, the other, the lane, the Bloom. Don't ask me. Our mutual faith. Pleasant Street. I only thought the half of the... I swear on my sacred oath. Bellow peremptorily. Answer, repugnant wretch. I insist on knowing. Tell me something to amuse me. Smut, or a bloody good ghost story, or a line of poetry. Quick, quick, quick. Where? How? What time? With how many? I give you just 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Bloom, docile, gurgles. I repugnosed in repugnant. Bellow imperiously. Oh, get out, you skunk. Hold your tongue. Speak when you're spoken to. Bloom bows. Master, mistress, man-tamer. He lifts his arms, his bangle bracelets fall. Bellow satirically. By day you will souse and bat our smelling underclothes also, when we ladies are unwell, and swab out our latrines with dress pinned up and a dishclout tied to your tail. Won't that be nice? He places a ruby ring on her finger. And there now, with this ring, I thee own. Say thank you, mistress. Bloom. Thank you, mistress. Bellow. You will make the beds, get my tub ready, empty the piss pots in the different rooms, including old Mrs. Keogh's, the cook's, a sandy one. Aye, and rinse the 7 of them well, mind, or lap it up like champagne. Drink me piping hot. Hop. You will attendance, or I'll lecture you on your misdeeds, Miss Ruby, and spank your bare bot right well, miss, with the hairbrush. You'll be taught the error of your ways. At night, your well-creamed, braceleted hands will wear 43 button gloves, new powdered with talc, and having delicately scented fingertips. For such favors, knights of old laid down their lives. He chuckles. My boys will no end charm to see you so ladylike, the colonel above all, when they come here the night before the wedding to fondle my new attraction in gilded heels. First, I'll have a go at you myself. A man I know on the turf named Charles Alberta Marsh, I was in bed with him just now, and another gentleman out of the Hanover and Petty Bag office, is on the lookout for a maid of all work at a short knock. Swell the bust, Smile, droop shoulders, what offers? He points for that lot, trained by owner to fetch and carry, basket in mouth. He bares his arm and plunges it, elbow deep into Bloom's vulva. There's fine depth for you. What, boys? That give you a hard-on? He shoves his arm in a bidder's face. Here, wet the deck and wipe it round. A bidder. A florin. Dylan's lackey rings his handbell. The lackey. Barang! A voice. 1 and 8 pence too much. Charles Alberta Marsh. Must be virgin, good breath, clean. Bello gives a rap with his gavel. 2 bar, rock bottom figure, and cheap at the price. 14 hands high, touch and examine schist points. Handle him, this downy skin, these soft muscles, this tender flesh. If I had only my gold piercer here, and quite easy to milk, 3 new-laid gallons a day, a pure stock-getter, due to lay within the hour. His sire's milk record was 1,000 gallons of whole milk in 40 weeks. Whoa, my jewel, beg up, whoa. He brands his initial C on Bloom's croup. So, warranted Cohen. What advance on 2 bob, gentlemen? A dark-visaged man in disguised accent. 100 Pund sterling. Voices subdued. For the Caliph, Harun al-Rashid. Bello gaily. Right. Let them all come, the scanty, daringly short skirt riding up at the knee to show a peep of white pantalette is a potent weapon, and transparent stockings, emerald gartered, with the long straight seam trailing up beyond the knee, appeal to the better instincts of the blasé man about town. Learn the smooth mincing walk on 4-inch Louis Quinze heels, the Grecian bend with provoking croup, the thighs fluorescent, knees modestly kissing. Bring all your powers of fascination to bear on them. Pander to their Gomorran vices. Bloom bends his blushing face into his armpit and simpers with forefinger in mouth. Oh, I know what you're hinting at now. Bello. What else are you good for, an impotent thing like you? He stoops and, peering, pokes with his fan rudely under the fat suet folds of Bloom's haunches. Up, up, Manx cat. What have we here? Where's your curly teapot gone to? Or who docked it on you, cock yolly? Sing, birdie, sing. It's as limp as a boy of 6's doing his pulley behind a cart. Buy a bucket or sell your pump. Loudly. Can you do a man's job? Bloom. Eccles Street. Bello, sarcastically. I wouldn't hurt your feelings for the world, but there's a man of brawn in possession there. The tables are turned, my gay young fellow. He is something like a full-grown outdoorman. Well, for you, you muff. If you had that weapon with knobs and lumps and warts all over it, he shot his bolt, I can tell you, foot to foot, knee to knee, belly to belly, bubs to breast. He's no eunuch. A shock of red hair he has, sticking out of him behind like a furze bush. Wait for 9 months, my lad. Holy ginger. It's kicking and coughing up and down in her guts already. That makes you wild, don't it? Touches the spot. He spits in contempt. Spittoon. Bloom. I was indecently treated. I informed the police. £100. Unmentionable. Bello. Would if you could, lame duck. A downpour we want, not your drizzle. Bloom. To drive me mad, Moll. I forgot. Forgive, Moll. We still. Bello. Ruthlessly. No. Leopold Bloom. All is changed by woman's will since you slept horizontal in Sleepy Hollow with your knight of 20 years. Return and see. Old Sleepy Hollow calls over the world. Sleepy Hollow. Rip Van Wink! Rip Van Winkle! Bloom. In tattered moccasins, with a rusty fowling piece tiptoeing, finger-tipping, his haggard, bony, bearded face peering through the diamond panes, cries out, I see her! It's she, the first night at Matt Dillon's, but that dress, the green, and her hair is dyed gold, and he... Bello laughs mockingly. That's your daughter, you owl, with a Mullinger student. Millie Bloom, fair-haired, green-vested, slim-sandaled, her blue scarf in the sea wind simply swirling, breaks from the arms of her lover and calls, her young eyes wonder-wide. Millie, my, it's Popley, but oh, Popley, how old you've grown. Bello, changed, eh? Our whatnot, our writing table where we never wrote, Aunt Hegarty's armchair, our classic reprints of old masters. A man and his man friends are living in clover. The Cuckoo's Rest. Why not? How many women had you, eh? Following them up dark streets, flat-foot, exciting them by your smothered grunts, what? You male prostitute. Blameless dames with parcels of groceries. Turn about, sauce for the goose, my gander. Oh. Bloom, I... Bellow, cuttingly. Their heel marks will stamp the Brusselette carpet you bought at Wren's auction. In their horseplay with Moll the Romp, to find the buck flea in her breeches, they will deface the little statue you carried home in the rain for art's sake. They will violate the secrets of your bottom drawer. Pages will be torn from your handbook of astronomy to make them page spills. And they will spit in your 10-shilling brass fender from Hampton Leedens. Bloom, 10 and 6. The act of low scoundrels. Let me go. I will return. I will prove. A voice. Swear. Bloom clenches his fists and crawls forward, a bowie knife between his teeth. Bellow. As a paying guest or a kept man? Too late. You have made your second-best bed, and others must lie in it. Your epitaph is written. You are down and out, and don't you forget it, old bean. Bloom. Justice! All Ireland versus one. As nobody... He bites his thumb. Bellow. Die and be damned to you if you have any sense of decency or grace about you. I can give you a rare old wine that'll send you skipping to hell and back. Sign a will and leave us any coin you have. If you have none, see you damn well get it. Steal it. Rob it. We'll bury you in our shrubbery, Jakes, where you'll be dead and dirty with old Cuck Cohen, my step-nephew I married, the bloody old gouty procurator and sodomite, with a crick in his neck, and my other 10 or 11 husbands, whatever the buggers' names were, suffocated in one cesspool. He explodes in a loud, phlegmy laugh. We'll manure you, Mr. Flower. He pipes scoffingly. Bye-bye, Poldy. Bye-bye, Popley. Bloom clasps his head. My willpower, memory, I've sinned, I've suffered. He weeps tearlessly. Bellow sneers. Cry, Babby. Crocodile tears. Bloom, broken, closely veiled for the sacrifice, sobs, his face to the earth. The passing bell is heard. Dark-shouled figures of the circumcised in sackcloth and ashes stand by the wailing wall. M. Shulomowitz, Joseph Goldwater, Moses Herzog, Harris Rosenberg, M. Moisel, J. Citron, Minnie Watchman, P. Mastiansky, the Reverend Leopold Abramovitz. Jason, with swaying arms they wail in Numa over the recreant Bloom. The circumcised, in guttural chant as they cast Dead Sea fruit upon him, no flowers. Shema Yisrael Adonai, Elohenu Adonai Shad. Voices sighing. So he's gone. Ah, yes. Yes, indeed. Bloom? Never heard of him. No? Queer kind of chap. There's the widow. That's so. Ah, yes. From the sooty pyre, the flame of gum campfire ascends. The pole of incense smoke screens and disperses. Out of her oak frame, a nymph, with hair unbound, lightly clad in tea-brown art colors, descends from her grotto, and passing under interlacing yews, stands over Bloom. The yews, their leaves whispering, Sister! Our sister! Shh! The nymph softly, Mortal, Kindly, nay, dost not weepest? Bloom crawls jellily forward under the boughs, streaked by sunlight with dignity. This position, I felt it was expected of me. Force of habit. The nymph, mortal, you found me in evil company. High kickers, coster, picnic makers, pugilists, popular generals, immoral panto boys in flesh tights, and the nifty shimmy dancers, La Aurora and Carini. Musical act, the hit of the century. I was hidden in cheap pink paper that smelt of rock oil. I was surrounded by the stale smut of clubmen, stories to disturb callow youth, ads for transparencies, trued-up dice and bus pads, proprietary articles, and why wear a truss with testimonial from ruptured gentlemen, useful hints to the married. Bloom lifts a turtle head towards her lap. We have met before, on another star. The nymph sadly. Rubber goods. Never rip brand as supply to the aristocracy. Corsets for men, I cure fits, or money refunded. Unsolicited testimonials for Professor Waldman's wonderful chest exuber. My bust developed 4 inches in 3 weeks, reports Mrs. Gus Rublin with photo. Bloom. You mean photo bits? The nymph. I do. You bore me away, framed me in oak and tinsel, set me above your marriage couch. Unseen one summer eve, you kissed me in 4 places, and with loving pencil you shaded my eyes, my bosom, and my shame. Bloom humbly kisses her long hair. Your classic curves, beautiful, immortal. I was glad to look on you, to praise you, a thing of beauty, almost to pray. The nymph, during dark nights, I heard your praise. Bloom, quickly. Yes, you mean that sleep reveals the worst side of everyone, children perhaps excepted. I know I fell out of bed, or rather was pushed. Steel wine is said to cure nothing. For the rest, there is that English invention, pamphlet of which I received some days ago, incorrectly addressed. It claims to afford a noiseless, inoffensive vent. He sighs. 'Twas ever thus. Frailty, thy name is marriage. The nymph, her finger in her ears. And words. They are not in my dictionary. Bloom. You understood them? They use. Shh. The nymph covers her face with her hands. What have I not seen in that chamber? What my eyes look down on. Bloom. Apologetically. I know. Soiled personal linen, wrong side up with care. The quoits are loose, from Gibraltar by long sea long ago. The nymph bends her head. Worse. Bloom reflects precautiously. That antiquated commode. It wasn't her weight. She scaled just 11 stone 9. She put on 9 pounds after weaning. It was a crack and a want of glue, eh? And that absurd orange-keyed utensil which has only one handle. The sound of a waterfall is heard in bright cascade. The waterfall. The ewes, mingling their boughs. Listen. Whisper. She is right, our sister. We grew by Pulukafuka waterfall. We gave shade on languorous summer days. John Wisenolin, in the background, in Irish National Forester's uniform, doffs his plumed hat. Prosper, give shade on languorous days, trees of Ireland. The ewes murmuring. Who came to Pulukafuka? With the high school excursion. Who left his nut-questing classmates to seek our shade? Scared. Bloom, scared. A high school of Pula, Nemo, not in full possession of faculties, concussion, run over by tram. The echo, sham. Bloom, pigeon-breasted, bottle-shouldered, padded in nondescript juvenile grey and black striped suit, too small for him, white tennis shoes, bordered stockings with turnover tops, and a red school cap with badge. I was in my teens, a growing boy. A little then sufficed, a jolting car, the mingling odors of the ladies' cloakroom and lavatory, the throng pinned tight on the old royal stairs, for they loved Crush's instinct of the herd and dark, sex-smelling theatre on Bridal's Vice. even a price list of their hosiery, and then the heat. There were sunspots that summer, end of school, and tipsy cake. Halcyon days. Halcyon days, high school boys in blue and white football jerseys and shorts, Master Donald Turnbull, Master Abraham Chatterton, Master Owen Goldberg, Master Jack Meredith, Master Percy Apjohn, stand in a clearing of the trees and shout to Master Leopold Bloom. The halcyon days. Mackerel, live us again, hurrah! They cheer. Bloom. Hobbled ahoy, warm-loved, Maffa-mufflered, starred with spent snowballs, struggles to rise. Again, I feel 16. What a lark. Let's ring all the bells in Montague Street. He cheers feebly. Hooray for the high school. The echo. Fool. The ewes rustling. She is right, our sister. Whisper. Whispered kisses are heard in all the wood. Faces of hammered dryads peep out from the boles and among the leaves and break, blossoming into bloom. Who profaned our silent shade? The nymph, coyly, through parting fingers. There, in the open air? The yew, sweeping downward. Sister, yes. And our virgin sword. The waterfall. Pulafuka, pulafuka, fuka fuka, fuka fuka. The nymph with wide fingers. Oh, infamy. Bloom. I was precocious youth. The fauna. I sacrificed to the god of the forest the flowers that bloom in the spring. It was pairing time. Capillary attraction is a natural phenomenon. Lottie Clark, flaxen-haired. I saw her at night toilet through ill-closed curtains with poor Papa's opera glasses. The wanton ate grass wildly. She rolled downhill at Rialto Bridge to tempt me with her flow of animal spirits. She climbed their crooked tree, and I, a saint, couldn't resist. The demon possessed me. Besides, who saw? Staggering Bob, a white-polled calf, thrusts a ruminating head with humid nostrils through the foliage. Staggering Bob, large teardrops rolling from his prominent eyes, snivels. Me, see? Bloom, simply satisfying a need. With pathos, no, girl, would when I went girling, too ugly, they wouldn't play. High on Ben Howth, through rhododendrons, a nanny goat passes, plum-puddered, butty-tailed, dropping currants. The nanny goat bleats. Nanny. Bloom, hatless, flushed, covered with burrs of thistledown and gorse pine. Regularly engaged, circumstances alter cases. He gazes intently downwards on the water. 32 head over heels per second. Press nightmare. Giddy Elisha. Fall from cliff. Sad end of government printer's clerk. Through silver silent summer, ere the dummy of Bloom, rolled in a mummy, rolls rotatingly from the Lion's Head cliff into the purple waiting waters. The dummy mummy. Far out in the bay, between Bailey and Kish, lights the Erin's king sails, sending a broadening plume of coal smoke from her funnel towards the land. Councillor Nanetti, alone on deck, in dark alpaca, yellow kite-faced, his hand in his waistcoat opening, declaims, "When my country takes her place among the nations of the earth, then, and not till then, let my epitaph be written. I have," Bloom, "done, perf." The nymph, loftily, "We immortals, as you saw today, have not such a place, and no hair there either. We are stone cold and pure. We eat electric light." She arches her body in lascivious crispation, placing her forefinger in her mouth. "Spoke to me. Heard from behind. How then could you?" Bloom, pawing the heather abjectly. "Oh, I have been a perfect pig. Enemas, too, I have administered 1/3 of a pint of quassia, to which add a tablespoon of rock salt, up the fundament, with Hamilton Long's syringe, the lady's friend. The nymph, in my presence. The powder puff. She blushes and makes a knee. And the rest. Bloom, dejected. Yes, peccavi. I have paid homage on that living altar where the back changes name. With sudden fervour, for why should the dainty scented jewelled hand, the hand that rules? Figures wind serpenting in slow woodland pattern around the tree stems, cooing. The voice of Kitty in the thicket. Show us one of them cushions. The voice of Florrie. Here. A grouse wings clumsily through the underwood. The voice of Lynch in the thicket. Phew! Piping hot. The voice of Zoe in the thicket. Came from a hot place. The voice of Virag, a bird chief, blue-streaked and feathered in war panoply with his assegai, striding through a crackling canebrake over beech mast and acorns. Hot! Hot! Where sitting bull? Bloom. It overpowers me, the warm impress of her warm form, even to sit where a woman has sat, especially with divaricated thighs, as though to grant the last favours, most especially with previously well uplifted white sateen coat pants. So womanly, full. It fills me full. The waterfall. Fila, fula, pula, fuka, pula, fuka, pula, fuka. The ewes. Shh. Sister, speak. The nymph, eyeless in nun's habit coif and huge winged wimple, softly with remote eyes. Tranquilla convent, Sister Agatha, Mount Carmel, the apparitions of Knock and Lourdes. No more desire. She reclines her head, sighing. Only the ethereal, where dreamy, creamy gull waves o'er the waters dull. Bloom half rises. His back trouser button snaps. The button. Pip! Two sluts of the coom dance rainily by, shawled, yelling flatly. The sluts. Oh, Leopold lost the pin of his drawers. He didn't know what to do. To keep it up, to keep it up. Bloom, coldly. You have broken the spell. The last straw. If there were only ethereal, where would you all be? Postulants and novices, shy but willing like an ass pissing. The ewes, their silver foil of leaves precipitating, their skinny arms aging and swaying, deciduously. The nymph, her features hardening, gropes in the folds of her habit. Sacrilege! To attempt my virtue! A large, moist stain appears on her robe. Sully my innocence! You are not fit to touch the garment of a pure woman. She clutches again in her robe. Wait! Satan, you'll sing no more love songs. Amen, 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 amen! She draws a poniard and, clad in the sheath mail of an elected knight of 9, strikes at his loins. Neckum! Bloom starts up, seizes her hand. Hoy! Nebracada, cat o' 9 tails, fair play, madam. No pruning life. The fox in the grapes, is it? What do you lack with your barbed wire? Crucifix not thick enough. He clutches her veil. A holy abbot you want, or Brophy the lame gardener, or the spoutless statue of the water carrier, or good Mother Alphonsus, Renard? The nymph, with a cry, flees from him on veil, her plaster cast cracking, a cloud of stench escaping from the cracks. Police! Bloom calls after her, as if you didn't get on the doubles yourself. No jerks and multiple mucosities all over you. I tried it. Your strength, our weakness. What's our stud fee? What will you pay on the nail? You men dancers on the Riviera, I read. The fleeing nymph raises a keen, I have 16 years of black slave labor behind me, and would a jury give me 5 shillings alimony tomorrow, Fool someone else, not me, he sniffs. Rot, onions, stale sulphur, grease. The figure of Bella Cohen stands before him. Bella, you'll know me the next time. Bloom, composed, regards her. Passé, mutton dressed as lamb, long in the tooth and superfluous hair, a raw onion the last thing at night would benefit your complexion, and take some double chin drill. Your eyes are as vapid as the glass eyes of your stuffed fox. They have not the dimensions of your other features, that's all. I'm not a triple screw propeller. Bella, contemptuously. You're not game, in fact. Her sow cunt barks. Frach! Bloom, contemptuously. Clean your nailless middle finger first. Your bully's cold spunk is dripping from your coxcomb. Take a handful of hay and wipe yourself. Bella, I know you, canvasser, dead cod. Bloom, I saw him, kip keeper, pox and gleet vendor. Bella turned to the piano. Which of you was playing the Dead March from Saul? Zoe, me, mind your cornflowers. She darts to the piano and bangs chords on it with crossed arms. The cats ramble through the slag. She glances back. Who's making love to my sweeties? She darts back to the table. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is my own. Kitty, disconcerted, coats her teeth with the silver paper. Bloom approaches Zoe. Bloom, gently. Give me back that potato, will you? Zoe, forfeits. A fine thing and a superfine thing. Bloom, with feeling. It is nothing, but still a relic of poor mamma. Zoe, give a thing and take it back. God'll ask you. Where is that? You'll say you don't know. God'll send you down below. Bloom, there is a memory attached to it. I should like to have it. Stephen, to have or not to have, that is the question. Zoe, here. She holds up a reef of her slip, revealing her bare thigh, and unrolls the potato from the top of her stocking. Those that hides knows where to find. Bella frowns. Here. This isn't a musical peep show, and don't you smash that piano. Who's paying here? She goes to the pianola. Stephen fumbles in his pocket and, taking out a banknote by its corner, hands it to her. Stephen, with exaggerated politeness. This silken purse I made out of the sow's ear of the public. Madam, excuse me. If you allow me, he indicates vaguely Lynch and Bloom. We are all in the same sweepstake. Kinch and Lynch. Dans ce bordel, lieutenant nostre état. Lynch calls from the hearth. Daedalus, give her your blessing for me. Stephen hands Bella a coin. Gold. She has it. Bella looks at the money, then at Stephen, then at Zoe, Florrie, and Kitty. Do you want 3 girls? It's 10 shillings here. Stephen, delightedly. 100,000 apologies. He fumbles again and takes out and hands her 2 crowns. Permit. Brevi manu. My sight is somewhat troubled. Bella goes to the table to count the money while Stephen talks to himself in monosyllables. Zoe bends over the table. Kitty leans over Zoe's neck. Lynch gets up, rights his cap, and clasping Kitty's waist, adds his head to the group. Florrie strives heavily to rise. Ow, my foot's asleep. She limps over to the table. Bloom approaches. Bella, Zoe, Kitty, Lynch, Bloom, chattering and squabbling. The gentleman, 10 shillings. Pay for the 3. Allow me a moment. This gentleman pays separate. Who's touching it? Ow! Mind your pinching. Are you staying the night or a short time? Who did? You're a liar. Excuse me. The gentleman paid down like a gentleman. Drink. It's long after 11. Stephen, at the pianola, making a gesture of abhorrence. No bottles. What? 11? A riddle. Zoe, lifting up her petting gown and folding a half-sovereign into the top of her stocking, hard-earned on the flat of my back. Lynch, lifting Kitty from the table. Come. Kitty, wait. She clutches the 2 crowns. Florrie, and me? Lynch, hoopla. He lifts her, carries her, and bumps her down on the sofa. Stephen, the fox crew, the cocks flew, the bells in heaven were striking 11. 'Tis time for her poor soul to get out of heaven. Bloom quietly lays a half-sovereign on the table between Bella and Florrie. So, allow me. He takes up the pound note. 3 times 10. We're square. Bella, admiringly. You're such a sly boots, old cocky. I could kiss you. Zoe points. Him? Deep as a drawwell. Lynch bends Kitty back over the sofa and kisses her. Bloom goes with the pound note to Stephen. Bloom. This is yours. Stephen, how is that? The distraitor, absent-minded beggar. He fumbles again in his pocket and draws out a handful of coins. An object falls. That fell. Bloom, stooping, picks up and hands a box of matches. This. Stephen, Lucifer. Thanks. Bloom, quietly. You had better hand over that cash to me, or to take care of. Why pay more? Stephen hands him all his coins. Be just before you are generous. Bloom, I will, but is it wise? He counts. 1, 7, 11, and 5, 6, 11. I don't answer for what you may have lost. Stephen, why striking 11? Proper Paraxton. Moment before the next lesson says, thirsty fox. He laughs loudly. Burying his grandmother. Probably he killed her. Bloom, that is £1, 6 and 11. £1, 7, say. Stephen, doesn't matter, a rambling dam. Bloom, no, but... Stephen comes to the table. Cigarette, please. Lynch tosses a cigarette from the sofa to the table. And so Georgina Johnson is dead and married. A cigarette appears on the table. Stephen looks at it. Wonder. Parlor magic. Married. He strikes a match and proceeds to light the cigarette with enigmatic melancholy. Lynch, watching him. You would have a better chance of lighting it if you held the match nearer. Stephen brings the match nearer his eye. Lynx eye. Must get glasses. Broke them yesterday, 16 years ago. Distance. The eyes see all flat. He draws the match away. It goes out. Brain thinks. Near, far. Ineluctable modality of the visible. He frowns mysteriously. Sphinx. The beast that has 2 backs at midnight. Married. Zoe. It was a commercial traveller married her and took her away with him. Florrie nods. Mr. Lamb from London. Stephen. Lamb of London, who takest away the sins of our world. Lynch, embracing Kitty on the sofa, chants deeply. Dona nobis pacem. The cigarette slips from Stephen's fingers. Bloom picks it up and throws it in the grate. Bloom. Don't smoke. You ought to eat. Cursed dog I met. To Zoe. You have nothing. Zoe. Is he hungry? Stephen extends his hand to her, smiling, and chants to the air of the blood oath in the dusk of the Dodds. Hangende hunger, fragende Frau, maxum al kaput. Zoe. Tragically. Hamlet, I am thy father's gimlet. She takes his hand. Blue eyes, beauty, I'll read your hand. She points to his forehead. No wit, no wrinkles. She counts. 2, 3, Mars, that's courage. Stephen shakes his head. No kid. Lynch. Sheet lightning courage, the youth who could not shiver and shake. To Zoe. Who taught you palmistry? Zoe turns. Ask my Ballocks that I haven't got. To Stephen. I see it in your face. The eye, like that. She frowns with lowered head. Lynch, laughing, slaps Kitty behind twice. Like that, pandy bat. Twice loudly, a pandy bat cracks. The coffin of the pianola flies open. The bald little round jack-in-the-box head of Father Dolan springs up. Father Dolan. Any boy want flogging? Broke his glasses. Lazy, idle little schemer. See it in your eye. Mild, benign, rectorial, reproving. The head of Don John Comey rises from the pianola coffin. Don John Comey. Now, Father Dolan, now. I'm sure that Stephen is a very good little boy. Zoe, examining Stephen's palm. Woman's hand. Stephen murmurs. Continue, lie, hold me, caress. I never could read. His handwriting except his criminal thumbprint on the haddock. Zoe. What day were you born? Stephen. Thursday. Today. Zoe. Thursday's child has far to go. She traces lines on his hand. Line of fate. Influential friends. Florrie, pointing. Imagination. Zoe. Mount of the moon. You'll meet with a... She peers at his hands abruptly. I won't tell you what's not good for you. Or do you want to know? Bloom detaches her fingers and offers his palm. More harm than good. Here, read mine. Bella. Show. She turns up Bloom's hand. I thought so. Knobby knuckles for the women. Zoe, peering at Bloom's palm. Grid iron. Travels beyond the sea and marry money. Bloom. Wrong. Zoe quickly. Oh, I see. Short little fingers, hen-pecked husband. That wrong? Black Liz, a huge rooster hatching in the chalked circle, rises, stretches her wings, and clucks. Black Liz, gotta, cluck, cluck, cluck. She sidles from her new-laid egg and waddles off. Bloom points to his hand. That wheel there is an accident. Fell and cut it 22 years ago. I was 16. Zoe, I see, says the blind man. Tell us news. Stephen, see? Moves to one great goal. I am 22. 16 years ago, he was 22 too. 16 years ago, I, 22, tumbled. 22 years ago, he, 16, fell off his hobby horse. He winces. Oh, hurt my hand somewhere. Must see a dentist. Money? Zoe whispers to Florrie. They giggle. Bloom releases his hand and writes idly on the table, in backhand, penciling slow curves. Florrie. What? A hackney car, number 324, with a gallant buttocked mare, driven by James Barton, Harmony Avenue, Donnybrook, trots past. Blazes Boylan and Lenehan sprawls swaying on the side seats. The Ormond Boots crouches behind on the axle. Sadly, over the crossblind, Lydia Douce and Mina Kennedy gaze. The Boots. Jogging mocks them with thumb and wriggling worm fingers. Ha ha! Have you the horn? Bronze by gold, they whisper. Zoe to Florrie. Whisper. She whispers again. Over the well of the car, Blazes Boylan leans, his boater straw hat sideways, a red flower in his mouth. Lenehan, in yachtsman cap and white shoes, officiously detaches a long hair from Blazes Boylan's coat shoulder. Lenehan. Ho! What do I here behold? Were you brushing the cobwebs off a few quims? Boylan, sated, smiles. Plucking a turkey. Lenehan, a good night's work. Boylan, holding up 4 thick, blunt, ungulated fingers, winks. Blazes, Kate, up to sample or your money back. He holds out a forefinger. Smell that. Lenehan smells gleefully. Ah, lobster and mayonnaise. Ah. Zoe and Florrie laugh together. Boylan jumps surely from the car and calls loudly for all to hear. Hello, Bloom. Mrs. Bloom dressed yet? Bloom, in Flunky's prune plush coat and knee breeches, buff stockings, and powdered wig. I'm afraid not, sir. The last articles. Boylan tosses him 6pence. Here, to buy yourself a gin and splash. He hangs his hat smartly on a peg of Bloom's antlered head. Show me in. I've a little private business with your wife, you understand. Bloom. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Madame Tweedy is in her bath, sir. Marian. He ought to feel himself highly honored. She plops splashing out of the water. Raoul, darling, come and dry me. I'm in my pelt. Only my new hat and carriage sponge. Boylan, a merry twinkle in his eye. Topping. Bella. What? What is it? Zoe whispers to her. Marian. Let him look. The pishog, pimp, and scourge himself. I'll write to a powerful prostitute or Bartholomona, the bearded woman, to raise wheels out on him an inch thick and make him bring me back a signed and stamped receipt. Boylan clasps himself. Here, I can't hold this little lot much longer. He strides off on stiff cavalry legs. Bella laughing. Oh! Boylan, to Bloom over his shoulder. You can apply your eye to the keyhole and play with yourself while I just go through her a few times. Bloom. Thank you, sir. I will, sir. May I bring 2 men chums to witness the deed and take a snapshot? He holds out an ointment jar. Vaseline, sir. Orange flower. Lukewarm water. Kitty from the sofa. Tell us, Florrie, tell us. What? Florrie whispers to her. Whispering love words murmur. Lip-lapping loudly. Polly smick plop plop. Mina Kennedy, her eyes upturned. Oh, it must be like the scent of geraniums and lovely peaches. Oh, he simply idolizes every bit of her, stuck together, covered with kisses. Lydia Douce, her mouth opening. Yum, yum, oh. He's carrying her round the room, doing it, riding a cock horse. You could hear them in Paris and New York like mouthfuls of strawberries and cream. Kitty, laughing. Boylan's voice, sweet, hoarsely, in the pit of his stomach. Ah, God blazes. Rabarach. Marian's voice, hoarsely, sweetly rising through her throat. Oh, wishwash, kissing a pushish putu. Bloom, his eyes wildly dilated, clasped himself. Show, hide, show, plow her, more, shoot. Bella, Zoe, Flora, Kitty. Lynch points the mirror up to nature. He laughs. Stephen and Bloom gaze in the mirror. The face of William Shakespeare, beardless, appears there, rigid in facial paralysis, crowned by the reflection of the reindeer-antlered hat rack in the hall. Shakespeare, to dignified ventriloquy. "'Tis the loud laugh who speaks the vacant mind. To Bloom, thou thoughtest as how thou wastest invisible. Gaze, he crows with a black captain's laugh. Ya-go-go! How my old fellow choketh his Thursday morning. Ya-go-go-go! Bloom smiles yellowly at the three whores. When will I hear the joke? Zoe, before you're twice married and once a widower. Bloom, lapses are condoned. Even the great Napoleon, when measurements were taken next the skin after his death. Mrs. Dignam, widow woman, her snub nose and cheeks flushed with death talk, tears and tears and tunny's tawny sherry, hurries by in her weeds, her bonnet awry, rouging and powdering her cheeks, lips and nose, a pen chivying her brood of cygnets. Beneath her skirt appear her late husband's everyday trousers and turned-up boots, large eights. She holds a Scottish widow's insurance policy and a large marquee umbrella, under which her brood run with her, Patsy hopping on one shod foot, his collar loose, a hank of port steaks dangling, Freddie whimpering, Susie with a crying cod's mouth, Alice struggling with the baby. She cuffs them, her streamers flaunting aloft. Freddie, "Ah, Ma, you're dragging me along." Susie, "Mama, the beef tea is fizzing over." Shakespeare, with paralytic rage, "Weda seca who killa fast." The face of Martin Cunningham, bearded, refeatures Shakespeare's beardless face. The marquee umbrella sways drunkenly. The children run aside. Under the umbrella appears Mrs. Cunningham, in merry widow hat and kimono gown. She glides, sidling and bowing, twirling Japanesely. Mrs. Cunningham sings, "And they call me the jewel of Asia." Martin Cunningham gazes on her, impassive, immense, most bloody awful demi-rep. Stephen, "Et exaltumbuntur cornua iusti." Queens lay with prize bulls. Remember Pasiphae, for whose lust my grand old grossfather made the first confession box. Forget not Madame Grisel Stevens, nor the sween scions of the house of Lambert. And Noah was drunk with wine, and his ark was open. Bella, "None of that here. Come to the wrong shop." Lynch, "Let him alone. He's back from Paris." Zoe runs to Stephen and links him. "Oh, go on, give us some parlez-vous." Stephen claps hat on head and leaps over to the fireplace, where he stands with shrugged shoulders, finny hands outspread, a painted smile on his face. Lynch, pummeling on the sofa. "Rum, rum, rum, rum." Stephen gabbles with marionette jerks. "1,000 places of entertainment to expense your evenings with lovely ladies, sailing gloves and other things perhaps. Hers heart's beer chops, perfect fashionable house, very eccentric. Where lots cocottes, beautiful dressed, much about, princesses like are dancing can-can, and walking their Parisian clowneries extra foolish for bachelor foreigns the same. If talking a poor English, how much smart they are, on things love and sensations voluptuous. Mistress very selects, for it is pleasure to visit heaven and hell, show with mortuary candles, and they tears silver with occur every night. Perfectly shocking, terrific of religions, things mockery seem in universal world, all chic womans which arrive full of modesty, then disrobe, and squeal loud, to see vampire man debauch nun very fresh young, with des yeux troublant. He clacks his tongue loudly. Oh la la, ce pif-cul-là. Lynch. Vive le vampire. The whores. Bravo, parlez-vous. Stephen, with head back, laughs loudly, clapping himself, grimacing. Great success of laughing. Angels, much prostitutes like, and holy apostles, big damn ruffians. Demi-mondaines, nicely handsome, sparkling of diamonds, very amiable costumed. Or do you are found better what belongs they modern's pleasure, turpitude of old man's? He points about him with grotesque gestures, which Lynch and the whores reply to. Katashuk, statue woman, reversible or life-size, tom-pi-tom of virgins, nudities, very lesbic. The kiss 5-10 times. Enter, gentlemen. To see and mirror every position's trapezes, all that machine there, besides also, if desire act, awfully bestial butcher's boy, pollutes in warm veal liver, or omelette on the belly. Pierce du Shakespeare. Bella, clapping her belly, sinks back on the sofa with a shout of laughter. An omelette on the... omelette on the... Stephen, mincingly. I love you, sir, darling. Speak you Englishman tongue. For double entente cordiale. Oh, yes, mon loup. How much cost? Waterloo. Water closet. He ceases suddenly and holds up a forefinger. Bella laughing. Omelette. The whores laughing. Encore, encore. Stephen, mark me. I dreamt of a watermelon. Zoe, go abroad and love a foreign lady. Lynch, across the world for a wife. Florrie dreams goes by contraries. Stephen extends his arms. It was here, street of harlots, in Serpentine Avenue, Beelzebub showed me her, a fubsy widow. Where's the red carpet spread? Bloom approaching Stephen. Look, Stephen. No, I flew, my foes beneath me, and ever shall be, world without end, he cries. Pater, free! Bloom, I say, look. Stephen, break my spirit, will he? Oh, mère de l'or! He cries, his vulture talons sharpen. Hola, hilly-ho! Simon Daedalus's voice hillows in answer, somewhat sleepy, but ready. Simon, that's all right. He swoops uncertainly through the air, wheeling, uttering cries of heartening on strong, ponderous buzzard wings. Ho, boy! Are you going to win? Hoop! Psh! Stable with those half-castes. Wouldn't let them within the ball of an ass. Head up. Keep our flag flying. An eagle, gules volant in a field argent displayed. Ulster king at arms. Hi, hoop! He makes the beagle's call, giving tongue. Hi, boy! The fronds and spaces of the wallpaper file rapidly cross country. A stout fox, drawn from covert, brush-pointed, having buried his grandmother, runs swift for the open, bright-eyed, seeking badger. Earth under the leaves. The pack of staghounds follows, nose to the ground, sniffing their quarry, beagle baying, burbling to be blooded. Ward Union huntsmen and huntswomen live with them, hot for a kill. From 6 Mile Point, Flathouse, 9 Mile Stone, follow the foot people with knotty sticks, hayforks, salmon gaffs, lassos. Flock masters with stock whips, bear baiters with tom-toms, toreadors with bull swords, grey negroes waving torches, the crowd bulls of Dicer's Crown and anchor players, thimble riggers, broadsmen, crows and touts, horse bookies in high wizard hats, clamour deafeningly. The crowd. Card of the races, racing card, 10 to 1 the field, Tommy on the clay here, Tommy on the clay, 10 to 1 bar 1, 10 to 1 bar 1. Try your luck on Spinny Jenny. 10 to 1 bar 1. Sell the monkey, boys, sell the monkey. I'll give you 10 to 1. 10 to 1 bar 1. A dark horse, riderless, bolts like a phantom past the winning post, his mane moon foaming, his eyeballs stars. The field follows a bunch of bucking mounts, skeleton horses, Scepter, Maxim, Mum the Second, Zinfandel, Duke of Westminster, Shotover, Repulse, the Duke of Beaufort, Ceylon, Prix de Paris. Dwarves ride them, rusty-armored, leaping in their saddles, last in a drizzle of rain on a broken-winded Isabel nag, cock of the north, the favourite, honey cap, green jacket, orange sleeves, Garrett Deasy up, gripping the reins, a hockey stick at the ready. His nag on spavined, white-gaitered feet jogs along the rocky road. The orange lodges, jeering. "Get down and push, mister. Last lap. You'll be home the night." Garrett Deasy, bolt upright, his nail-scraped face plastered with postage stamps, brandishes his hockey stick, his blue eyes flashing in the prism of the chandelier as his mount lopes by at a schooling gallop. "Per vias rectas." A yoke of buckets, leopards all over him, and his rearing nag a torrent of mutton broth with dancing coins of carrots, barley, onions, turnips, potatoes. The green lodges. "Soft day, Sir John. Soft day, Your Honour." Private Carr, Private Compton, and Sissy Caffrey pass beneath the windows, singing in discord. Stephen. "Hark! Our friend's noise in the street." Zoe holds up her hand. "Stop." Private Carr, Private Compton, and Sissy Caffrey. "Yet I've a sort of Yorkshire relish for..." Zoe. "That's me!" She claps her hands. "Dance, dance!" She runs to the pianola. "Who has 2 pence?" Bloom. "Who'll..." Lynch, handing her coins. "Here." Stephen, cracking his fingers impatiently. "Quick, quick! Where's my auger's rod?" He runs to the piano and takes his ash plant, beating his foot in tripudium. Zoe turns the drum handle. "There." She drops 2 pennies in the slot. Gold, pink, and violet lights start forth. The drum turns, purring in low hesitation waltz. Professor Goodwin, a bow-knotted periwig and court dress, wearing a stained Inverness cap, bent in two from incredible age, totters across the room, his hands fluttering. He sits tinily on the piano stool and lifts and beats handless sticks of arms on the keyboard, nodding with damsel's grace, his bow-knot bobbing. Zoe twirls round herself, heel-tapping. "Dance! Anybody here for 3? Who'll dance? Clear the table." The pianola, with changing lights, plays in waltz time the prelude of My Girl's Yorkshire Girl. Stephen throws his ash plant on the table and seizes Zoe around the waist. Florrie and Bella push the table towards the fireplace. Stephen, arming Zoe with exaggerated grace, begins to waltz her around the room. Bloom stands alone. Her sleeve, falling from gracing arms, reveals a white flesh flower of vaccination. Between the curtains, Professor Magini inserts a leg on the toe point of which spins a silk hat. With a deft kick, he sends it spinning to his crown and jaunty hatted skates in. He wears a slate frock coat with claret silk lapels or gorget of cream tulle, a green low-cut waistcoat, stock collar with white kerchief, tight lavender trousers, patent pumps, and canary gloves. In his buttonhole is an immense dahlia. He twirls in reverse directions a clouded cane, then wedges it tight in his oxter. He places a hand lightly on his breastbone, bows, and fondles his flower and buttons. Magini. The poetry of motion, art of calisthenics. No connection with Madame Leggett Burns or Levinston's. Fancy dress balls arranged, deportment, the Caddy Lanner step. So, watch me. My Terpsichorean abilities. He minuets forward 3 paces on tripping bee's feet. Tout le monde en avant. Révérence. Tout le monde en place. The prelude ceases. Professor Goldwyn, beating vague arms, shrivels, sinks, his live cape falling about the stool. The air and firmer waltz time sounds. Stephen and Zoe circle freely. The lights change, glow, fade. Gold, rosy, violet. The pianola. 2 young fellows were walking about their girls, sweethearts they'd left behind. From a corner, the morning hours run out, gold-haired, slim and sandaled in girlish blue, wasp-waisted and innocent hands. Nimbly they dance, twirling their skipping ropes. The hours of noon follow in amber gold, laughing, linked, High hair combs flashing, they catch the sun in mocking mirrors, lifting their arms. McGinney. Clip-claps, glove-silent hands. Carré, avant douce. Breathe evenly, balancez. The morning and noon hours waltz in their places, turning, advancing to each other, shaping their curves, bowing vis-a-vis. Cavaliers behind them arch and suspend their arms, with hands ascending too, touching, rising from their shoulders. Ours. You may touch mine. Cavaliers. May I touch your? Ours. Oh, but lightly. Cavaliers. Oh, so lightly. The pianola. My little shy little lass has a waist. Zoe and Stephen turn boldly with looser swing. The twilight hours advance from long land shadows, dispersed, lagging, languid-eyed, their cheeks delicate with cypria and false-fate bloom. They are in grey gauze with dark bat sleeves that flutter in the land breeze. McGinney. Avant oui, traversez, salut, rudiment, croisez. The night hours, one by one, steal to their last place. Morning, noon, and twilight hours retreat before them. They are masked, with daggered hair and bracelets of dull bells. Weary, they curtsy under veils. The bracelets. Hi-ho! Hi-ho! Zoe, twirling her hand to her brow. Oh! McGinney. Les Trarois. Chandidin. La Corbière. Dos à dos. Arabesquing wearily, they weave a pattern on the floor. Weaving, unweaving, curtsying, twirling, simply swirling. Zoe. I'm giddy. She frees herself, droops on a chair. Stephen seizes Florrie and turns with her. McGinney. Boulangerie, le rond, le pont, chevaux de bois, escargot. Twining, receding, and interchanging hands, the night hours link each with arching arms in a mosaic of movements. Stephen and Florrie turn cumbrously. McGinney. Dansez avec vos dents. Changez de dents. Donnez les petits bouquets à votre dame. Remerciez. The pianola. Best of all. Barabam. Kitty jumps up. Oh, they played that on the hobby horses at the Mirrors Bazaar. She runs to Stephen. He leaves Florrie brusquely and seizes Kitty. A screaming bittern's harsh high whistle shrieks. Grown grouse gurgling toffs, cumbersome whirligig, turns slowly the room right about the room. The pianola. My girl's a Yorkshire girl. Zoe. Yorkshire through and through. Come on, all. She seizes Florrie and waltzes her. Stephen. Passul. He wheels Kitty into Lynch's arms, snatches up his ash plant from the table, and takes the floor. Oh, wheel, whirl, waltz, twirl. Bloombella, Kitty Lynch, Florrie Zoe, Jujubee women. Stephen, with hat ash plant, frog splits in middle high kicks, with sky kicking mouth, shut hand, clasp part under thigh, with clang, tinkle, boom, hammer, tally ho, horn blower, blue, green, yellow flashes, toffs, cumbersome turns, with hobby horse riders from gilded snakes dangled, bowels fandangled, leaping spurns, soil, foot, and fall again. The pianola, though she's a factory lass and wears no fancy clothes. Close clutched, swifter, with glare, blare, flare, scudding, they scoot, loot, shoot, lumbering by. Bada-bum. Tutti. Encore, bis. Bravo, encore. Simon. Think of your mother's people. Stephen. Dance of death. Bang, fresh, barong, bang of lackey's bell, horse, nag, steer, piglings, comni on Christas, lame crutch and leg sailor and cockboat, arm folded, rope pulling, hitching stamp, hornpipe, through and through, barabum, on nags, hogs, bell horses, gathering swine, cornea, coffin, steel, shark stone, one-handled Nelson, two trickles, Fraun Zimmer, plum-stained from pram, falling, bawling, gum, he's a champion, fuse, blue, pier from barrel, rev, even song love on snow cake, no fancy clothes. Then in last switchback, lumbering up and down, bump, mashed up, sort of viceroy and rain, relish. For tub lumber bumps a rose, barabum. The couples fall aside. Stephen whirls giddily. Room whirls back. Eyes closed, he totters. Red rails fly spacewards. Stars all around. Suns turn roundabout. Bright midges dance on walls. He stops dead. Stephen. Ho! Stephen's mother, emaciated, rises stark from the floor in leper grey, with a wreath of faded orange blossoms and a torn bridal veil, her face worn and noseless, green with grave mold. Her hair is scant and lank. She fixes her blue-circled hollow eye sockets on Stephen and opens her toothless mouth, uttering a silent word. A choir of virgins and confessors sing voicelessly. The choir. Liliata runtelantiam te confessorum jubilantiam te virginium. From the top of a tower, Buck Mulligan, in party-colored jesters, dress of puce and yellow and clown's cap with curling bell, stands gaping at her. A smoking buttered split scone in his hand. Buck Mulligan. She's beastly dead. The pity of it. Mulligan meets the afflicted mother. He upturns his eyes. Mercurial Malachi. The mother, with the subtle smile of death's madness. I was once the beautiful May Goulding. I am dead. Stephen, horror-struck. Lemur, who are you? No. What bogeyman's trick is this? Buck Mulligan shakes his curling cap bell. The mockery of it. Kinch dog's body killed her bitch body. She kicked the bucket. Tears of molten butter fall from his eyes onto the scone. Our sweet great mother, epi onopopontum. The mother comes nearer, breathing upon him softly, her breath of wetted ashes. All must go through it, Stephen. More women than men in the world. You too. Time will come. Stephen, choking with fright, remorse, and horror. They say I killed you, Mother. He offended your memory. Cancer did it, not I. Destiny. The mother, a green rill of bile trickling from a side of her mouth. You sang that song to me. Love's bitter mystery. Stephen eagerly. Tell me the word, Mother, if you know now, the word known to all men. The mother. Who saved you the night you jumped into the train at Dalkey with Paddy Lee? Who had pity for you when you were sad among the strangers? Prayer is all-powerful. Prayer for the suffering souls in the Ursuline Manual and 40 days indulgence. Repent, Stephen. Stephen. The ghoul! Hyena! The mother. I pray for you in my other world. Get Dilly to make you that boiled rice every night after your brain work. Years and years I loved you, oh, my son, my firstborn, when you lay in my womb. Zoe fanning herself with the great fan. I'm melting. Florrie points to Stephen. Look, he's white. Bloom goes to the window to open it. Giddy. The mother with smoldering eyes. Repent, oh, the fire of hell. Stephen, panting. His non-corrosive sublimate. The corpse chewer, raw head and bloody bones. The mother, her face drawing near and nearer, sending out an ashen breath. Beware. She raises her black and withered right arm slowly towards Stephen's breast with outstretched finger. Beware God's hand. A green crab with malignant red eyes sticks deep its grinning claws in Stephen's heart. Stephen, strangled with rage, his features drawn grey and cold. Shut Right! Bloom, at the window. What? Stephen. Ah, non, par exemple. The intellectual imagination with me all or not at all. Non c'est bien. Florrie, give him some cold water. Wait! She rushes out. The mother wrings her hands slowly, moaning desperately. Oh, Sacred Heart of Jesus, have mercy on him. Save him from hell. Oh, divine Sacred Heart. Stephen, no, no, no. Break my spirit, all of you, if you can. I'll bring you all to heel. The mother, in the agony of her death rattle. Have mercy on Stephen, Lord, for my sake. Inexpressible was my anguish when expiring with love, grief, and agony on Mount Calvary. Stephen. Northon! He lifts his ash plant high with both hands and smashes the chandelier. Time's livid final flame leaps, and in the following darkness, ruin of all space, shattered glass, and toppling masonry.